One of the 4 Americans released by Iran today is Pastor Saeed Abedini, who was sentenced in 2013 to 8 years in prison. And joining me now is Republican Congressman Robert Pittenger, who has been involved in pushing for the release of the pastor. Congressman Pittenger is also the chairman of the Congressional Task Force on Terrorism. Thank you once again for being with us today.
Hello, Heather.
1,267 days Saeed Abedini has been held prisoner in Iran. You were able to speak with his wife earlier today. What did she have to say?
Ms. Abedini was overwhelmed with joy and real gratitude. She's a very sweet lady. We've had her in Washington twice and met with her in Charlotte on one occasion, and you know, she has just really trusted God through this process. She's got 2 little kids. They ask where their daddy is every day, and it's been a real blessing to them to see him able to come home.
Yeah, you and I were both from North Carolina. I've spoken with you many times before.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that in your efforts to secure these hostages' release, you also worked with Franklin Graham on this.
Sure did. Franklin's been a huge support to Ms. Abedini, as well as Dr. David Chadwick here at Forest Hill Church. She's had a lot of support from Christians all over the country. We care about her and her family, and frankly, the Marines and the Washington Post editor. These are real people who have been really hurt by this process, and frankly, I think it could have been done 2 years earlier. You know, when we committed to give him $700 million a month for 16 months, just as a precondition to sit down and negotiate. I wish it could have been done earlier. I wish we could have negotiated better, but nonetheless, this is a moment that we're rejoicing.
And I want to ask you that. Why do you think that this was not done earlier, and the timing today?
Well, the president, I think, has been had a strong commitment to see this to the end. He believes, I think, frankly, misguidedly, that on a better hope for the outcome of this, and I do. I don't think we saw a good outcome in what happened in North Korea, and I'm not hopeful for this as well. You know, 5 Middle Eastern countries, Heather, have turned their back on Iran. They've ceased their diplomatic relations, or much of those relations. Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Sudan and the UAE and Bahrain. All those countries have said, no, we're not going to continue in our relationship. And yet we have now created a very strategic alliance with Iran. They're going to get $100 billion. They're not but a $400 billion GDP. They can't even assimilate this kind of money. Yeah. And God knows what's going to happen with it, with what they've done in sponsoring terrorism for the last 3 decades.
Congressman Pittenger, thank you for joining us. We're now actually going to go to the Secretary of State John Kerry, who is speaking on this and everything that has transpired today. Let's listen.